guys, so I flipped the camera around so you can just kind of see. I'm in the middle of a bunch of different projects right now, and this is a typical day for me when I am crafting in my work studio or my work craft office, whatever you want to call it. This is my actual dining room in my home. It's the formal dining room, and I converted it into my craft space. So there's one open wall, but there's also a door that I shut that's behind me to kind of block off from the rest of the house. So when I walk in, over here is my craft storage where I have like my t-shirt blanks, my other blanks that I have, and then I have a computer desk here for doing all of the like craft business things. There's my embroidery machine, but my pride and joy is the Scrapbox Workbox from the original Scrapbox company, and the studio tower, also from the original Scrapbox company. So the studio tower is a new addition to my room. It's actually on a Lazy Susan type of mechanism, and it has 4 different sides. So this side I recently filled up with all of my fabrics. So when I do embroidery appliques, it's all right there. I can find it at a a quick notice. And then what I have here is some of my larger thread spools. And then as this turns, which I don't have it completely organized since it is a new addition, I have all of these file folder systems, which I plan to put vinyl in all the different colors. So, and then over here I have more of the threads to my thread collection. I have over 60 different spools of thread, and I have this much more room to buy more or get more craft supplies. But I typically leave it at this spot here because I do use the larger threads more often and all the fabrics. They're not really organized by color. They're more organized kind of by season. So I kind of have like my most used like fat quarters along with some holiday fabric, my sports team fabrics, and then on down to trending fabrics. And then down below I store my iron here versus the laundry room because I find that I am ironing more craft projects than I am ironing clothes from the laundry. So I do keep my iron in my craft room. So moving on to the original Scrapbox Workbox. I love this thing. I've had it for 2 years, and I have recently upgraded the totes that you see to the clear. Originally it came with a clothed gray totes. They're kind of fabric. They had a cardboard base, but they were a little more flimsy. And when they came out with the clear totes, I had to upgrade my totes, and I found lots of other uses for the gray totes that I had before. I put them in my purses in my closet to kind of help the purse keep the shape. So there's plenty of storage places in your home that you can use the old totes if you happen to have a workbox and have the old totes. So to kind of start, I'll start on the right side and we'll go from there. So down here I keep some embroidery hoops and some Velcro. I don't often use these crafts on this Velcro wall that often, but they are here and I do get to them, and I love how you can see them in the little tote bags. There is like some bow making materials. There's stretch elastic and ribbons in here. When my daughter was born, I bought a lot of bow making supplies, and this is just what is left over from that. Then there is like the flowers here, and I have used this for people who are getting married, or I've made them things like little gifts to decorate, so that's really handy. Up here I have elastics, a little bit of sewing kits for like quick mending. Sometimes my husband asks me to fix a button, so I have that all right here, all the different little kits that I have. Some more bows. This is that multicolored string or twine. I use that for several different projects. And then I have some glitter here. For the most part, I keep my glitter out in the garage just because I like to keep the glitter dust away. But if I have a project that requires something very small in glitter, I do have a few little pieces of it here. And then I have a staple gun that I use, and these are the staples for it. So moving on, I'm gonna move my chair out of the way so you can see this. Moving on, these are the craft totes that I have up top, and they're like hard acrylics, and I just love how you can see everything and organize them. So here I have like buttons, clips, more clamps, and bells. One year I did a project around Christmas time with bells. I've even made wire rings out of bells when I made a lot of jewelry. So these are just great little handy things to have when you need them. Up top here, I keep my glue gun up here and googly eyes, things like that that I need to glue on. Wooden dowels. I just bought these. They're just kind of laying up there. I don't really keep paint here, but and then like all the wooden bits that I have, like clothespins, little popsicle sticks, wooden things for little signs that I might make, all of that in here. So it's like things that can be hot glued but are kind of more sturdy like wood. Then, because I have the glue gun here, it just didn't fit over here. This whole bin is all of my glue and adhesive. So I organize everything by what it does. So these are tapes, there's stickers, there's a crayon thing in here to like where you put the little decal in and it makes a sticker. Glue, I think I have etch cream in here. I have Mod Podge and refills for the crayon. So that is what I have in that bin there. Oh, I need 2 hands to do it. Sorry about that. And then I briefly tried Chalkator, which is like a chalk paint multi-level marketing company. I found that I did more projects on my own and just sold them, and then I also found other chalk paint that was a little bit more affordable. So, and I can make my own designs with my silhouette machine. So I have Chalkator products in here that I use chalk paint, but I no longer sell Chalkator. But if you want to have interest in that, I can show you. And then I just keep the apron in here. So moving on, I have ribbon and tulle. I have my larger spools here, like the ones that are wider. And then I have like the skinnier ribbons here. More ribbons, more holiday type of stuff, and floral type of stuff like moss. And then these are kind of empty, and the reason these are empty is because I have moved all of my fabric to the studio tower. And then down at the very bottom, I have, these are the actual old fabric totes. I have a cinch machine, so these are the spirals. But you can see here, this is a fabric tote. You can't really see what's inside of it from the front. You can, but on the side you can't, like the clear totes. But it had this where you can put a label in it, which I really, really liked. But other than that, they're kind of more flimsy, and the base is not hard. So you can see like how I can like squeeze it to get it in there. I don't know. I just like the clear plastic ones better, so that's why I wanted to upgrade to that tote. And of course, I use them all up, and that's why these bottom two are the old totes, because when you upgrade, this spacing is a little bit different in how I did it in the studio box. So I took 2 from here to put in my studio box and used 2 old totes down there. So moving on, I have in my skinny compartments more little doodads, scrap, what is that, glitter canvas, and then I have the rolls of glitter canvas, and then more doodads down here like key rings, buttons, planner goodies, that sort of thing. On this side of the workbox, I have 3 different drawers up top, which are full of all of my scrapbook paper. I'm not going to pull them out because they are heavy to do one-handed. But in the 3rd drawer, I have like the card making cutout blanks that you can use to build for cards, and the blank cards that you start with the envelopes here. One year I made card gift sets for everyone in my family and the women in my family, and so I got real excited to make cards. And this is the materials that I have left over. So I occasionally make cards now for when I give a gift instead of just buying a card. So in here in this like compartment tray that you get, I have like different bows, different sayings for card making, get well soon, and like hard cardboard cutouts, little doodads, things for card making. So this is like the everyday kind of card making, and then this one I had so much holiday stuff, so I have a whole holiday drawer of all of my card making supplies, the cute little things like with they're like doubled up ornaments, and of course like the little sayings. 'Tis the season. Super cute. And then here in this drawer I have all of my silhouette pins and extra blades for all of the colors for making different things. I haven't quite used these for making cards, but I plan to in the future. And then back here I just have one of those trays to keep all of my embroidery planner clips. And I just put it with the card making stuff because it just, paper and stationery, it just seemed to make sense. But I have like different little embroidery things that I have made, and I stock here, and I sell like little paper planner clips in my Etsy shop and in my Shopify store. And like this is like a planner band to kind of keep it secure, like for Happy New Year. Down here I have all of my Mink machine supplies for foiling. You can do this on cards, you can do it on signs, but I have all of my foiling machine supplies in here. And then on the original Scrapbox Workbox, you get 3 drawers. So in here, I just kind of store my silhouette things like that I have here, coupons. I do have Cricut supplies too, so I have a little smoother in there. My business cards that I keep on hand when I'm doing something I need a quick card. And then over here I just have like the dust cover and a crocodile. I used to order acrylic, so I just kept this, but I don't really use that anymore. On the left side I store all of my vinyl rolls, which are pretty much by color. So all of my adhesive vinyl is here, which is perfect because my silhouette machine is right here, so I can just grab what color I need and get to cutting. In the center, I store all of my different kinds of pens and markers. Colored pencils are at the bottom, Sharpie pens, regular marker pens, paint pens, more Sharpie markers by style. And then I have like Expo markers as well. And then I have all of my weeding tools and things to use with my silhouette. There's an extra little space here after you insert this caddy, and this is a separate caddy. It does not come with the box, but I love it. And so there's a little extra space here, and I keep all of my silhouette mats in here. So that's perfect to just kind of grab them. Like I said, work with my silhouettes when I'm working, and then of course all of my vinyl. Above it is an empty space. I don't know if I plan to put books here or add another shelf. I haven't quite decided. Once I bought the studio tower, I kind of shifted some things around that were in the workbox to kind of fit how I wanted things to be in the studio tower. So that's why there is the empty hole there. And then up top, I just have another little box that I had, my tab punch, and a little folder that keeps all of my other blogger friends' business cards in it. Moving on to the left side is my jewelry side. So originally I started making jewelry first. That's what started all of my crafting endeavors. And so all of this side, all the way down to the very bottom, is my bead storage. So for the sake of time, I'm not going to show you every single drawer, but they are categorized by types of beads, with the ones I use the most on top. I make a lot of the wired bangle bracelets, so I do have those beads here, more at like arm's reach. I do a lot of work with pearls and Swarovski crystals, so I will try to pull this out one-handed because it is very heavy. But as you can see, there is another compartment tray that separates all of my pearls. So I have been known to give jewelry as gifts on the fly to friends and family because I have such a large stash. In the skinny drawers here, I have at the very top my vinyl scraps, which is from the vinyl here. So I just kind of use the skinny one up top for my vinyl scraps. And then I have like jewelry that I might be working on for people. Like sometimes they ask me to fix it. And then I have all of my tools in these containers. So this is the one that I use the most. So I have all of my pliers and I just kind of keep them here. So they're ready to use. And then I have wire stash, different jewelry things in here to make different pendants, my beading string and wire, and then these are like actual belts and leather strips that I use to make leather cuffs with. And I have a few more of those down there, and I won't show you every single one because that might be boring. But so basically this entire left side I use for all of my jewelry making. Then the left panel, because this it's about 1.5 inches deep. So it fits perfectly all of the paint in it that I have, and I have more paint than that I actually have stored down below. Some of the craft tools that I use all the time, like embroidery scissors, a little, I forget what you call this, like a squeegee thing to help press down the vinyl. And then I have a whole rack of scissors here, my washi tape, and then I have some stamps down here at the very bottom and some punches, which I don't really use all that often, but it was a great place to store them, so I put them there. Now, moving down to underneath the craft table, I have like all of my leftover items that I don't typically use all the time. I have some props there for when I make videos, some more punches, and then all of the extra bins and bags that you see there sitting on top of my cinch are extra jewelry making supplies. Some of them I have been given, some of them I inherited, like old jewelry, and so sometimes I get like crafty and I get down there and I kind of go through and recreate something new out of it. But for the most part, I don't typically come down here to do anything. It's just, you know, every now and then. So that's all of my overflow supplies. And so that is pretty much the Scrapbox Workbox that I have in my room that I use every single day, along now with my studio tower. Hope you enjoyed this tour. If you have any questions about it, please leave a message or a comment below, and I will be happy to answer your questions. Happy crafting, friends. Bye-bye.